So, hello again. As you know, I am Eli, the computer guy, and I'm coming to you again in normal clothing, because this is yet again another real issue with YouTube. So I thought about how I was going to name this particular video, and I was thinking about being cute, and then I was thinking about, not trying to be too harsh, and then I realized, screw it, let's just name it what it is. YouTube is broken. And I'm not saying this like screaming and crying and moaning like I did last week with my community strike. I'm saying I don't know what the hell is going on, but for the past 2 weeks, as a platform, as a system, YouTube seems very inherently broken. And it seems broken in very odd ways. And it seems broken in ways that seem like they go back to infrastructure. So, being an IT professional, when I see how YouTube seems to be broken, this doesn't seem like it's broken because they released some kind of weird JavaScript and the web page isn't opening properly. It doesn't seem broken that they released a particular codec, maybe a new codec in order to do videos, and that is broken. This seems like a systemic problem, and why I'm a little worried about it is when you see systemic problems like I've been seeing over the past couple of weeks at YouTube, most of the time these kind of problems aren't because somebody dumped a bit of code into the platform, and that caused the issue. So you get that a lot, with Twitter or any of these web platforms. A lot of times what they do is they create code, they put it into the production environment, and then something weird happens, and then they have issues. But normally with that, it's very, the issues that you have are very specific. There's a specific type of thing. Web pages do not load. The mobile app does not synchronize properly. You have very specific things. Why I'm concerned now with YouTube being broken is these seems like systemic issues. Basically, if you're an IT professional, what this looks like is something that got deployed a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, where there was some kind of flaw when it was deployed, but the resource utilization wasn't at the point where the flaw showed up. So you get this a lot in the IT world, which really sucks, is that you deploy your infrastructure. So basically what you do is whenever you have hardware or anything in an IT environment, you buy the hardware based on your expectations. What are your expected uses of the hardware in the future, even if you don't use them now. So it's one of those things like you go out there and you buy a massive server farm, and right now you only use 10% of the server farm, but the idea is over the next 2 years you'll grow and you'll use the entire server farm, right? Because again, migration and build out is always most expensive to do on live systems. So I would rather build a whole data center based on what I need from 6 months or a year from now versus piecemeal that data center together. And especially if you're a company like Google that makes like $20 billion every quarter, makes sense to do it that way. Just makes everything easier. So one of the problems that you run into as an IT professional is a lot of times you buy all this hardware, you buy all these hardware resources, you install the code onto that hardware. Well, the thing is, the code is only utilizing 10% of those hardware resources. And so there may be flaws in that code, but you don't see them because there's so many resources for the servers. Again, you get things like memory leaks, you get weird issues, you get log files that get too big, you get all these weird problems, and you don't see them when it's at 10% utilization, and you don't see it when it's at 20% utilization, and you don't really see it at 50% utilization. But once you're actually starting to hammer the systems as hard as they're supposed to be hammered, once you get up there around that 70-80% utilization of your resources, all of a sudden you start having problems because of things like memory leaks, because log files are dumping out data in weird ways, because synchronization, there was some kind of lag in synchronization. And again, when you were using 10% utilization, you didn't see it because it wasn't being utilized enough. Now that it's getting closer to what it was designed for, now you start seeing those problems. So my concern with YouTube is when I start to see these issues, these seem like bad issues. And again, like I said, with my YouTube videos lately, unfortunately, they've gone slightly viral. That whole leaving YouTube thing has, gotten 300,000 subscribers, which is a lot for my channel. Again, my videos. Again, I know I get a lot of snark from people like, oh, you only get 10,000 views on your videos. I'm fine with. Honestly, like I say, from a marketing standpoint, I went and Spiceworks, one of my sponsors, my only sponsor now, but my sponsor, they actually paid me to fly out to Austin and to sit down with their whole upper level staff for a week and do interviews. So I interviewed the CEO, and I interviewed the CIO, and I interviewed the chief financial officer, and I interviewed their director of IT 2 times actually. Then I did some other stuff, and so Scott Abel, which is a really great guy, CEO of Spiceworks. I sit there, I talk with him, we do this whole 2 hour interview. By the end of the week, the video only got like 8 or 9,000 views, and so this is one of those things, like, they paid me good money, again, where I talk about I make more money than simply ad revenue or whatever, this kind of sponsorship. They paid me good money to go to Austin, and so I was a little sheepish. I was like, oh, I go back to my marketing rep, my PR guy at Spiceworks. I'm like, right? Well, hopefully over the next year that number will grow. And it was funny because the guy looked at me, he was like, what are you talking about, Eli? That's great. I'm like, what? Like 9,000 views on a YouTube video is great? And the guy looked at me and he's like, listen, Eli, how many of the people really want to see an interview from Scott Abel? Like, how many people in the entire world give a damn what Scott Abel thinks? Probably about 8 or 9,000 people. And so I was like, all right. So when I do these videos, I'm not trying to be viral. I'm trying to talk to a specific thing. And so, like I say, when I'm talking here about YouTube being broken, please understand, this is not trying to be viral. I'm not trying to get all these other people in and get subscribers and all this. This is a communication between me, my subscribers, and hopefully YouTube. Just so that's clear from the get-go. So the first thing to understand is I started seeing problems with YouTube approximately 2 weeks ago at this point. I can't really tell you exactly when, because again, all software, all platform has glitches. Like YouTube has had glitches. I've been with YouTube now since 2009, and really, seriously honest, since like 2010 or so. And YouTube has always had glitches. There's always times when you have weird little problems, and then you shrug them off because it's an effing web app. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how it goes. But I started noticing weird issues about 2 weeks ago, right? And basically, 2 weeks ago, the issue that I started noticing, and I probably received about 15 times. So I have 2 channels. Eli the Computer Guy with 636,000 subscribers. So within YouTube's echelon, that should be a higher tier for encoding processes and all that kind of stuff. And then I have Eli Computer Guy Live with 57,000 subscribers now, which should theoretically be a lower tier. So as I understand, YouTube can correct me here, depending on your channel and depending on how trusted your channel is, for things like encoding and all that kind of stuff, you get priority. So if you have a brand new channel and you're going to be encoding video and all that, your encoding takes longer versus a channel like mine, which makes sense. I've been here doing these videos 6.5 years. You started yesterday. You know what I'm saying? So I have the 2 channels, and then across both channels, the thing that I saw somewhere about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago at this point, was that when I would go to the channel, when I go to my dashboard, many times, like on the dashboard, it would say like no videos found, like no videos found, no comments found, no analytics found, as if it was a brand new channel. So that scared me a little bit. Again, this is my Eli the Computer Guy channel with 900 videos and 600,000 subscribers. But I also saw that exact same issue on my smaller channel. And so that's what I noticed about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. Then after that was when the whole mess of strikes came in. And again, the issue that you have to understand with this whole strike thing, again, as I talk about in life, and as I talk about in business, distrust, verify, and still be suspicious. So YouTube has stated that my strike was seen by 2 human individuals, and both of those 2 people made a mistake. But it's really weird that in the same time frame, so many other channels got hit by such a weird strike. Because again, what you have to understand is we've been dealing with community strikes and copyright strikes for a long time now. But normally, they're initiated by stupidity, not because there seems to be something wrong with the core platform. Again, there is something wrong with the core platform, as in the rules for their ID system and community strike system suck. But again, the algorithm goes by the rules. Right? You give the algorithm crap rules, it will put out crap. So what you feel like in the past is that the algorithm has been given crap rules, but you understand how the algorithm works. So like I got hit by microstopped last year. So well, not last year, but 2014, I guess. So the end of 2014, I got hit by microstopped. Something like 10 or 20 major YouTube tech creators got hit by microstopped. Again, the thing there is that was dumbass rules, not the code failing. So apparently, and nobody has really truly come clean with exactly what happened, but apparently what happened is, since Microsoft is so big, Microsoft can basically tap into the YouTube strike system. Microsoft went to a third party kind of like rights management vendor in order to make sure people weren't sharing, Windows keys or whatever. That person put in a crap takedown algorithm and then went after all of us. So again, it was stupid. It was obnoxious. A whole bunch of people should have lost their jobs. But as far as the algorithm is concerned, algorithm did what algorithm did. You know what I'm saying? Again, if you go back to the whole controversy with video gamers, so probably about the end of 2013, the beginning of 2014, a lot of people got hit by, copyright strikes and all that kind of thing. Again, Nintendo was being stupid and Sony was being stupid and all these major video game vendors were being stupid. It was stupid and they were shooting themselves in the foot for doing it. On the other hand, algorithm was given information, algorithm went with it, right? We can argue about whether or not Nintendo is being stupid, but that's not the algorithm's fault. Again, algorithm doesn't have morals, algorithm doesn't have ethics, algorithm does what you feed it. And so again, it was fed a stupid set of instructions. But it did those instructions, right? What I get worried about now with the current strike issue, so if you look at what happened to me, if you look at what happened to I Hate Everything, if you look at what happened to Nostalgia Critic, if you look at what happened to a number of the other YouTube content creators, is this seems scattershot. We're not getting hit by copyright. It doesn't seem like copyright ID. We're getting hit different ways. So some people are getting their monetization taken down. Some people are getting individual strikes. Some people are getting their entire channel shut down. And again, it seems scattershot. This isn't like the video gamers of a couple of years ago where everybody got hit by essentially the same thing. And then you have to figure out, do you need to change the rules? This doesn't seem rules based. This just seems, right? Lots of different people get hit at the same time for different types of strikes with different penalties for those strikes, different types of channels. Again, I have almost nothing to do with I Hate Everything, and I Hate Everything seems to have almost nothing to do with Nostalgia Critic. Like, they're all these, right? And so that's what makes me concerned, like when the strike happened, like what exactly is going on there. Past that, then like last week or so, started seeing encoding times going through the roof. So normally I upload a video, and honestly, uploading the video is normally the longest thing. I upload my video, it runs through their encoders, spits out the other side. So, from when my video finishes uploading to normally when it gets spit out, an hour or so. Even at 30 gigs. So I do my long form 4K content, and again, I upload it generally about an hour or so. It gets into the first version is encoded, that goes live. I can share it. Now, the encoding times are getting really long, like hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. Like, I was shocked. Like, I uploaded my my 100% right and 100% wrong video yesterday, and I did that before my day was done. So, I get done with the day somewhere between 4 to 5. So I don't know exactly, but between 4 to 5 is when it finished uploading. It was not live when I went to bed at 10 o'clock at night. It actually came live sometime during the night. So that was like 4 hours. When before it wasn't that way. Again, I put up a lot of big video files, and it would be one thing. I understand if it takes a long time, but this seems to be different. Not only that, or the encoding times seem to take a tremendous amount of time, but they've also started. They've changed how they've done the encoding. And again, this may go back to infrastructure, where if you look at the complaints for my videos, let's say a month ago, everybody was being snarky because I talked about recording videos in 4K, and then when I share them out, when they initially get published, they're all at that 360p. And so everybody's like, oh, Eli, I thought you were recording in 4K. Guess we're just doing 360p now. And then I have to tell people, no, it takes a while for all versions to encode. It'll be 4K, again, in a couple hours. And that's the thing, too, is like I say, when we talk about these long encode times, there's a difference between when all the versions of the video are finished encoding versus the first version is done so that I can share it out too. I can publish it and share it. So again, within about an hour or so, normally that 360p pops out. I share it. Everybody complains because it's not in 4K. Again, they can't see me wave my hands in 4K, which apparently is a travesty, right? Nice. And then, over the day, the rest of them get encoded. So again, probably 5 or 6 hours for all of them to be encoded. But that initial one is normally relatively quick, right? It's somewhere around that hour time frame. But now, the weird thing is, again, in the past week and a half or so, encoding times have gone through the roof. And then the first versions to come out are the higher level. So the 4K and the 1440p. The problem with that, fundamentally, is that a lot of people literally cannot play 4K or 1440p videos. So they have really crappy old computers. They have a really crappy internet connection. So the nice thing is when it comes out 360p, you may think it looks ugly as hell, but you can watch it. When it comes out at 4K or 1440, there's a huge number of people in the world that simply cannot view that. And so I'm now actually getting complaints because people literally can't even view the videos because they get spit out at that higher level. And so that's one of the things, like I say, even the encoding seems to be going weird. Beyond that, I've been noticing comment issues. So comment issues. So sometimes, like, some people have been complaining I'm not communicating with you guys. And you guys don't know how many times at this point I go in to write a comment for you guys, and it fails. So I refresh, redo the comment, fails, refresh, redo the comment, fails, refresh, screw it, I'm going to do something else. Again, I've had comment issues in the past. Again, that's a web form. Again, I'm not complaining that YouTube has some comment issues, but that it seems to be becoming more common, more normal over the past 2 weeks that I don't know that I can comment. And then finally, again, one of the old things, but I've been hearing a lot from my subscribers, is that people have started to become unsubscribed from my channel. Oddly enough, because my subscriber numbers keep going up after that stupid ass viral video last week. But that they have said that they have mysteriously become unsubscribed from my channels and that they don't know what's going on. And I should tell you guys that. So this is in a nutshell. Relatively quick as far as Eli the computer guy goes. I just wanted to put this out there because I'm going to share this with my new YouTube partner manager. And he can throw it in the spam, man. I did email so I'm supposed to have a direct email to YouTube technical support, and so I emailed them with the issues with the encoding and with all these other things as a PS. These things are going on. I haven't received a message back from them. I don't know if you do. I don't know how that communication works. My videos now, I do have to say, they all seem to be up and they all seem to be working. So maybe they fixed the problem. They just didn't want to tell me. Again, I don't know. You guys are like, Eli, you just trust YouTube so much. It's like, no, I don't trust YouTube. I just know when the fight's over. You know what I'm saying? There are times to fight, and then there are times to be like, well, let's see how the world works. So I honestly believe that my email to the YouTube technical support department didn't wind up in a very special spam bin? No, maybe there, but I emailed them, so we'll see what happens. But these are the issues that are going on. If you're another YouTuber, I don't know, tell me if you're running into these problems. Because again, like I say, as an IT professional, what I look at here is these seem systemic problems across the board. This doesn't seem like just the encoders are having an issue, or just the comment system is having an issue, or just the front end. Like I had that issue before when I used to do YouTube live videos, where for whatever reason, it was bizarre as hell. I actually had to use Safari as a browser in order to do live videos, because what I found was Chrome and YouTube Live didn't work very well for whatever reason. Buggy as hell, at least back in the day. But that's the thing. This doesn't seem like that. It doesn't seem like, if I change it's a web browser problem. They updated Chrome and now you don't see your list of videos. Or, I updated Chrome and that means YouTube server farms encode videos differently. You know what I'm saying? So that's where it's kind of weird. So, yeah, like I say, if any other YouTubers are having problems, do a video, let YouTube know, talk about it. Because again, the more we talk about it, this is our little weird way for YouTube content creators to communicate and explain what's going on. Again, I'm more blunt about it because I can be. So it's like, screw it. What if YouTube retaliates against you? Then I'll take one of the 3 job offers I got offered last time. So funny with people. They're like, "Oh, you need YouTube." It's like, no, I literally rejected a very lucrative deal like yesterday, like less than 12 hours ago. So not too worried about it. But that's why I'm able to be so bluntly honest about these things. But if you need my protection, if you need Eli the computer guy to say this first before you say it, I'm willing to come here and say it. But YouTube seems broken. Well, no, it's not even seen. YouTube is broken. I have been a YouTube content creator for a long time, since 2009. I've hammered the hell out of the YouTube platform for years. Again, you may not like my video editing, but as far as the YouTube component is concerned, I've hammered the hell out of it for years. And this seems as if there is something structurally broken with YouTube that is not simply an update that got pushed through 2 weeks ago. This, like I say, if I walked into an environment where these types of problems were happening, my question would be, what did you do a year ago? What did you do 2 years ago? Because what this really looks like is they built out hardware based on expected utilization. They installed their code base. That code base was only using 10% or whatever of the utilization. And then what it looks like has happened is that there were flaws in that code base. And then as they grew, now they're using the resources as the resources were designed to be used. And because there's some kind of weird flaw going way back when, it's spinning off all of these weird, bizarre issues. That would be my thought as an IT professional. Here's a thought. If YouTube would like to do a video explaining what the hell's going on, that would be a beautiful thing, right? But that's when I see it from my world. So anyways, the next video will be me back in my orange shirt. But from now, I'm just kind of trying to tell YouTube, hey, your craft's broken. Your light's out. Your tire's flat. I'm just trying to be a good Samaritan, because I'd really hate to see this entire platform go off a cliff because of some stupid ass problem.